5 seconds and you introduce yourself to that person. Could be like Siemens Energy or Motorola HR representative. In this case, we have so many faculty, we have so many students. What we would like to do as we start the day, pick a student, and in fact, not student to student, back to front, find a student, a faculty or student, introduce yourself and who you are, what you do. And then when you are done, in a minute or two, meet the other group and try to network. This is a really good start the day and network to each other. Everybody stand up and talk to each other. We'll give you a little time. Who you are, what you do, where you coming from, get your LinkedIn addresses, and let's do a little bit engagement. Please feel free to come and talk to us too.
Hello.
How are you? You are so much admirable.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. That's great.
Yeah, we got
This is
it.
the best way
Yeah,
to start.
you got it. Mandy, how are you? Nice meeting you. I love you. I wish I knew you like 10 years ago, right?
You still have time, right?
Yes.
Time. I want to talk to you about your collaboration. Is it with Brazil?
Yeah, but Houston Joseph was here. Like, you know what stuff like.
Good. Get the energy.
Yeah, otherwise everybody sits. Now, everybody, please meet the other group. Everybody, meet the other group. Now, 4 of you. Everybody, enlarge your group. Everybody, enlarge. Meet the other group. Everybody, meet the other group.
Just when you speak, if you can point the microphone to you.
Like that.
Not, sorry, not like that, like that. Okay, thanks.
Everybody talk to each other. Meet the new people. Meet the new people. Everybody meet the new ones. Everybody meet the new ones. Get your cards, LinkedIn address. Everybody meet each other. Did you meet the first time? Did you meet each other first time? Okay, I'll have you the podium and you talk about yourself, how you met and let, just hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Sorry.
Last 1 minute. Last 1 minute. Everybody got to talk to each other at least 2 or 3. Last 1 minute. I miss my. I see you. You should have left alone. Awesome. Yeah. Last 1 minute. We know each other for years. Did you meet new people? Did you meet new? Did you meet new people?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Did you meet new?
We got pictures of you on.
Awesome. Awesome. Do you want to come to stage and talk when you met new? You want to come? Stage. I'll pick one group and whom you met the new. Did you meet some new people? Did you meet new?
I met people.
Okay. Okay. I will have you stage. Okay. Everybody sit back. Want to have a group? You met the first time. Share with everybody. I'm sure everybody meet some new faces, but I just picked a group. Ma'am, come over. Everybody slowly sit down. One or two groups come. I picked Mirna from Colorado. Mirna, whom did you meet? How was this? Everybody slowly sit down.
Do I need to be here?
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Whom did you meet and
Yeah.
introduce yourself?
Okay. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I didn't want to steal anybody's thunder, but I've been told to come up here, and I don't even know why I'm here. But I think what I'm trying to do here is to let know everybody whom I met and how I was very, very impressed with them, even by just talking about like whatever 30 seconds or so, something like that. So my name is Myrna Machik. I am. I'm the director for the Grandchild Scholars Program in Colorado School of Mines. I met with Talal Aslam from, I believe, NC State University. Give it up. All right. So I heard that there was a big group here, a very, very big group. So this is my first time in Rome, and even with that, then I feel very comfortable with this group, and also too, I've been just kind of like whenever I came up there, he just said hello and everything like that, and so Talal here is a BME major, am I right? And also to doing double studies with Arabic. So, and so he is going to be focusing in industry with his degree eventually, I believe. And so with all that, I am going to hand it over because I think I have too much airspace here. So.
Job, thank you.
Yeah, you want me to say a few words? Yeah, honestly, it was a pleasure to have that conversation. She asked me a few questions about how our program runs, and I was happy to answer. Our lovely director, Dr. Kakish, she scouted me on site, which is a beautiful thing. But aside from that, I think the best thing we do at our NC State community is just having that resonance with other scholars. People telling you that GCSP is not you doing too much; it's you doing just enough that's good for you. And for me, that was the biggest thing, being a double major and trying to balance all these things. That's the most beautiful thing you can ask for in a college community.
Thank you so much. Second group that I picked, they met each other the first time, and we should increase this energy and synergy. Please, during the breaks, during the sessions, talk to each other, grow your network. Cecilia.
But I'm not going to introduce myself, so I'm going to let Brennan introduce me. She's from Bucknell University, and she's a senior electrical engineering major who's going to go get her PhD. And let's see, she lives only 30 minutes from Bucknell, and she is actually her areas of interest in electrical engineering are the ones that I did as well. So as well, I just gave something away. So anyways, I I was really excited to meet somebody from Bucknell because I've been there. I spent a week there one time.
So this is Cecilia, and she is an associate dean at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, and she is in the mechanical engineering department, but was in electrical engineering as her major. And so that's something that we have in common. She's in the power and controls, which is something that I want to go into. She's said that she's visited Bucknell, and she really likes the campus, and that's something that I also agree with. It's a really nice campus. And yes, she has family in Carlisle, which is also in Pennsylvania. And then, yeah, other family outside of in Wellsboro. So, yeah, also from Pennsylvania. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. I think we did a great job for the start of the day, right? We have a session coming up, so I'll stop.
Yeah, that was amazing. I think we can do it again, maybe another little session in the afternoon. We can do it again, 10 minutes. Yeah, that would be perfect.
Thank you, everybody. Now we can start, but first of all, we have some a very good guest. Yesterday, for the first time, from the engineering faculty, we crossed the street and we went at the little sister's home. Now we have the reverse. For the first time, we have the little sisters in the main room of the engineering faculty. We started the service learning yesterday, and maybe we can have just a few words from Sister Rosemary and Sister Sophie now. Thank you very much.
Good morning, all. Thank you very much for us. Yesterday it was very nice good day. Many of you came to visit our home. Then also with the old people, they were very happy. You sang for them, they were dancing, everyone was happy. And also we said it's good also for us to come today. As Andrea said, as we have crossed, for me it's first time to be here. I have 80 years, just near, and first time to be here. I am very happy. We are Little Sisters of the Poor. Our congregation was founded in France by Saint Jean Jugan, 1839. It started by taking one old lady who was abandoned. So he started like that. He took one, then after he got some, then after they found it, they started little by little. Until that time, we are in that one countries in 5 continents. And wherever we are, we take care of the old people. So I say thank you for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister. Sister Sophie is from Kenya, let's say. Okay. Do you want to say something, Sister Rosemary? Very brief.
So it was very important yesterday to establish that relationship between youth and elders. As you go back to your universities, your studies, keep in mind the richness, the wisdom, the heritage of your elders and your youth and enthusiasm, and share it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So now with a big breath of gratitude, we will start. Let's start.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We are a little bit late today. But let's blame the weather. The weather is only our first enemy. And okay, this is the fourth workshop, so you know the deal, you know how it works. So you will participate during polling. First, we will have a round presentation of our speakers. So we'll have slides, some not. And this workshop is service learning, global changing for homeland and international experience. So we will have really like a mixed like group of people coming from all around the world, America, Europe, Italy, and Africa. And let me say a couple of words who we have here, and then they can present themselves. So like it changed a little bit, so I don't have words for everyone. So let me start that who helps me writing the presentation. Also, we have Simone Scarlata, respiratory consultant at Campus Biomedico, teaching hospital and director of emergency and critical care school of medicine at Campus Biomedico University in Rome here. Then we have near him Jasdeep Bara, is it correct? Emergency medicine and critical care attending Dr. Kilifi County Referral Hospital is from Kenya. Head of emergency medicine program, affiliated with Pwani University in Kenya. Then we have Francis Mojuni and Dorothy Okello, and they come from Makerere, from Uganda. They are affiliated with Makerere University. They are connected to the Tomb Seed Center. So there is a program that they're gonna tell you a little bit with the Munich University of cooperation and engineering for electrification, mainly I think mini grids. Then we have I'm not doing it correctly, spelling it. Susan Krumdiak. Ah, yeah, I got it. I practiced. From Eriovat University, I don't have a presentation for a line for you, but she will present. So he's from Scotland, England, Europe. Then we have Professoressa, is in Italian, Barbara Turchetta from Bergamo University. So he's from Italy here, from the north. So we have another representative of Italy. And then we have Flavia Baccani here, that is a representative from the Service Learning Sapienza. That is this program that we are trying to get the service learning inside the curriculum of the students.
Dorothy is also the Dean of Engineering Faculty at Makerere University. Thank you, Dorothy, for being with us.
So let's start, Simone. We can start from Simone. We got like staying like in 2-3 minutes of like small presentation, and we go for the polling.
Sure. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for inviting me. It's a real pleasure. What I will try to do briefly is just to bring my alternative perspective on the use and the application of service learning in academic studies. As a doctor and as a responsible for a cooperation program in my place, I try to bring our students and in Madagascar and Kenya every years and provide a medical work camp that try to fix them with a major non-technical skills that are an added value in medical training. It would take a lot, but what basically we do is putting together those social, emotional experience with more technical, methodological, academic approach, bringing together research into a standard cooperation initiative, this making the academic experience more comprehensive and probably bringing to a better professional development for our students. So very briefly, this is what I would like to say about our place and our experience. So feel free to ask for more. Thank you.
I suppose I can probably carry on. So my name is Jazz Bara. I've already been introduced, but before I begin, I think in the spirit of being from Kenya, I'm going to say Hamjambo. And when I say Hamjambo, what you guys need to say back to me is Hatu Jambo. So let's try that. So I'm going to say Hamjambo. Yeah, we can do a bit better than that. So Hamjambo. Fantastic. That's great. Okay. So yes, I'm a lecturer at Pwani University. I did my residency in Oxford in emergency medicine and critical care. I come at this from trying to bridge the gap between high-income countries and low-income countries, and then trying to integrate both kind of ideas. I come at this from thinking maybe a bit differently in terms of not trying to integrate high-income models or Western models into low-income countries, but actually understanding that a low-income model is very different, and actually it requires, therefore, a kind of different approach. And it means that really where my areas of interest lies kind of low-cost, high-impact solutions to deteriorating patients, so that actually emergency care, in my opinion, is that it should be a fundamental human right, that actually your life will be saved however that comes, whether you are in high-income countries or low-income countries, and that's a big passion from my end. I'm hoping that we can build community resilience, and I think this is where we can come together as different populations and from all countries of the world, where we can support communities to take on their own resilience and their own kind of healthcare, and empower them to be able to make the changes that mean that they can live healthier lives. And ultimately, if we live healthier lives, they'll be more economically viable. And I think from that point of view, it means that they can then progress and do the things that we all wish them to do, rather than coming and having a grant model. But it's that kind of wanting to use education, my space of where I've worked previously, and use local communities to be able to empower their own future, rather than us telling them what their future should hold. So I'm very happy to have many conversations, and I really appreciate how we've started this forum and this panel. And I'm really looking forward to some very, very informative discussions. So yeah, thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Francis Mujuni. I'm from Makerere University. I'm a lecturer in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. My colleague here, Dorothy, will tell you more about Makerere University, but mine is to just interest you in some of the things that we're doing with partners, so that probably you can see where you can fit in what we do. Makerere is quite privileged. I think this could be disputed by other universities, but I think we are the most densely populated PhD holding university in Africa. We have about 1,800 PhD holders. Nearly 80% of the faculty hold PhDs. And what that means is we are very research intensive university. And within that umbrella, we have what we call the ARUA, which is Africa Research Universities Alliance. We've coupled up with the equivalent of that in Europe, which is called the Guild of Europe. And we've formed this huge alliance where we want to be graduating about 1,000 PhDs every year for the next 10 years. We've been working at that for some time now. We have different activities we coordinate within that. I would imagine here, if you're looking for collaboration and that kind of stuff, please Google up Arua Guild. You will be amazed. This year we have our meeting in Glasgow in June. And again, if you are in anything related to collaboration for research, capacity building, mobility stage, networking, this is quite a big forum for you to look up on. The other thing is that we are also part of the TUM Seed Center, the Technical University of Munich. We have this thing called SEED, Sustainable Energy and Entrepreneurship Development in Global South. There's also a big alliance coming together again, tackling all sorts of things, but especially within the energy SDG 7, looking at technology management, but also policy. And this also we've taken it up to do to do that in other areas. For example, in Africa, we have this huge thing that is coming up called the ICESA, African Institute of Sustainable Energy and System Analysis. Again, Makerere is privileged this year to host it in September. This is also quite a big thing if you're into collaboration. Doesn't matter what you do, as long as doesn't matter what your area of expertise in energy is, whether it's technology, policy, governance, gender. As long as you're working on issues of Africa, you're invited for this. So again, look up maybe my name. I put a lot of things on LinkedIn, and keep following. If you're interested, please reach out and we'll be happy to collaborate.
Thank you very much. Francis has made my job easy. So let me first start by thanking for the moderator for the historical tour we had yesterday, going out to the Colosseum and everything. And this morning I had an experience from Uganda where I got drenched by the rain, but that's another story. Yeah, so Francis really has given you an overview. As Makerere, we are really, really big on internationalization. And my job as the dean, which I really, really love, is really fostering more collaboration. And I'm also responsible for academic affairs. And I think our engineers need to be out in the communities doing much more. I love the collaborations. And what I tell my students is people fly all over the world to come and go to our villages. We go to our villages to visit our parents, our grandparents, and everything. So surely, who should be doing more work in the community? Of course, the internationalization bit really, really helps. And I'm hoping that we can become a formal partner of this program. Andrea, thank you so much for introducing it to me. I know you've been working in Uganda and all this, but we now want to come in formally as sisters and brothers, not sort of looking over on the other side and seeing what is happening. Thank you so much.
I want to add that with Francis, we started working 10 years ago in Chitobo for a microgrid that really changed the life of the island. And to say that with Dorothy, we are going in April with the next field study abroad. With it will be 15 students and PhD. We are going to Makerere. So it's not a live, more than a live collaboration. And we are so glad to stay together. Thank you again.
All right, I have a couple of images for you. There is a grand challenge, or the grand challenge, and it isn't just emissions. It's acidification of the ocean, loss of biodiversity, basically all of the stuff that comes out of our very good engineering work. And the only people who can change that are engineers. And this is my grandson, Enzo, and I think that the community I work for is infants, the little 2-year-olds and 1-year-olds, the people who have nothing to say about any of this for 30 years yet. The world is not going to be safe for him if we don't do what the scientists tell us to do. So this is a very famous picture you've seen a lot with the, the emissions profile. Have you? All right. So the next slide, please. How in the world does that happen? Because I got to tell you, I don't know. I mean, I know it must, but must is different than do. So I started looking at history because it seemed to me that engineers have changed the world before. Okay, yeah. James Watt invents the condenser for the steam engine, and that objectively changed the world. But it also, and of course it grew the economy, etc. But it also came along with disasters. The bad things that happen when you're building great technologies and building industries faster than you know what you're doing. AI? Okay. And then you hit this era of trilemmas, wicked problems, dilemmas, predicaments, where you have this really, really good thing that we all know how to do and we're teaching and it's great, and it's the thing that is threatening our future. or our very lives. And what happens is there is a singularity moment in every one of the cases I have looked at, but it's not that you keep going. It's that something happens, and that something always involves a university, a safe space for thinking, like engineering scientists. And at that university, the technical experts from industry come into that space and they ask, what is going wrong? And that takes an enormous amount of honesty. It really does. But in that moment, they start applying engineering science to those questions. And the example I've given you here that I found was the birth of mechanical engineering came out of that very process at the Franklin Institute in 1825. There was a group of researchers who essentially built what we teach now in thermodynamics, fluid dynamics, material science, and heat transfer. Nobody knew how boiling heat transfer worked. There wasn't a steam table yet. And that meant you could still make a lot of power, but you were going to blow things up. And so now in our undergraduate classes, we teach them the science, the engineering science, the modeling, and then we say, and look what can happen. And so we then circle back and make things safe. And that's what will happen now if we can pull together what we know. So this is us triggering research because of those wicked problems. The research then reveals the future in a new way. A new discipline, and discipline's a very important word there, emerges, which then gives advice to the government about what regulations are required. And I don't know if you can see the timeline there, but the regulations and the government come in very much after the fact. They're informed by the actual engineering discipline. That is so important. And then the engineers police themselves. That's what discipline means. ASME. ASME Boiler Code, ASME Code of Conduct, ASME Professional Organization, and that's how the world changes. So next slide, you will see how the world changed. And I hope this is us. Yes, go ahead. Next one though. There we go. This is what it looks like when the world changes. The number of people killed in boiler explosions peaked and declined because of that work of engineers. Now, it didn't go away because people stopped using coal in boilers, in steam boilers. That's not why it went away. It's because engineering evolved and the discipline of safety engineering took over. So if we can think about the same pattern now with the transition of the systems that are now really threatening the life of my grandchildren, then that's the work I want to do. And I hope you all join me 11:15 in the fresco room. We are going to look at how that happens, and it's a convergence of everything that we now know into that space to ask what's going wrong, how do we not go wrong, and how do we teach that, and how do we recommend the regulations. So I would put forward that the grand challenge in service learning is actually now inside, and our community that we're working for is infants. Okay. I'm done. Could keep going, but.
Please, Professor.
You hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay, thank you. I belong to the University of Bergamo, which is in the north of Italy, and I'm a linguist, basically a linguist and anthropologist, and I teach migratory linguistics and cultural landscapes and linguistic spaces. I've been doing research for the last 30 years mainly in East Africa, but also in West Africa, and I'm deeply involved in cooperating with the world of international cooperation. Now, I wish to raise some questions. The main one is how sustainable are the benefits of those activities that students in service learning offer to the locals, to the communities where they go. I've been trained a bit, some of the students of Andrea, when they first came to Uganda some years ago. I'm currently working for the South Sudanese refugees in the settlements that Uganda settled in West Nile in North Uganda. And I'm involved in programs dealing with capacity building, women empowerment, literacy skills like numeracy, like digital skills. And now this world has some contradictions. The first one deals with the idea of community. I've been hearing a lot of times, even yesterday, the idea that we offer help to communities. But according to my field of studies, once you speak about community, you have to think very deeply about it. So what are you talking about when you speak about community? I will go into deep in this topic because I think it is very, very relevant. First, I wish to say, not because our friends, Ugandan friends are here, but because I really believe it, that Uganda has the best refugee act in the world. In the early 2020s, they tried their best to consider refugees not as a matter, a topic to solve, a problem to solve as soon as possible, but a real and concrete part of the society which can give a lot to the society where this group of people are. In this way, they are really very well protected, and in the same way, they tried as best in Uganda. Consider that Uganda now hosts some 2 million refugees, coming mainly from South Sudan, from Congo, from Rwanda, Burundi, Somalia, Ethiopia. So from all around, all the countries, neighboring countries. And they tried their best also to protect the local villages, so the Uganda citizens, in encouraging development programs at the international level to include Ugandans living in close villages. To avoid what we see too often, especially in Africa, that you might have a village benefiting of a lot of help with 10 boreholes, mechanical or technological harvesting systems, and then the village thereafter, next door, has nothing. Coming back to this idea, I wish to talk to you about the idea of community. So in sharing natural resources in a group, you can have, like in the areas where I work in a Jumani district, you can have South Sudanese coming from different cultural groups, speaking different languages, trying to melting with Ugandans, who on their side they have other cultural values and they speak other languages. So basically, when you have a school in a field like a refugee settlement, you can have children in a classroom speaking like 25, 30 different languages. So which is the language the teacher should use to enter in contact with them? Huh? These are the kind of problems we face. So going back to women, we have to think about the numbers, which are really impressive. 47% of women refugees, they live next to their abusers. They suffer from sexual attacks and sexual abuse. Some men sell their daughters in early marriages to get money and let the family survive. So these are the real challenges we have in the field. So imagine you give a borehole to a group of people and you ask these people to share this borehole. And those ladies have to share the fetching of the water in that borehole with the abusers who are living next door. These are the real challenges. So my question is, what kind of benefits students can live on the field when they leave? They can leave some technology for sure. They can leave, their friendship for sure. Meeting people is always a nice experience anyhow. Mixing cultures and sharing experiences from the cultural point of view gives us the opportunity to increase our knowledge of the world. But then after that, what do they leave? So I went back to some of the refugee settlements where Andrea was with his students, and they leave some skills, let's say, in how to produce materially to produce technology. And they did with very brief classrooms with the young people at the youth centers that we had been building in the years there in those settlements. Well, after 2 years, they are still producing this kind of rural technology. And not only this, they are transferring this technology to others. So I think this is the best result we can get from any service learning of students. But before that, we had been training these students, trying to understand that there is not just one single community. You have different groups sharing the same environment, sharing the same natural resources, though having different perspectives in the world and different values and different sense of honor as well, which is very, very, very important. Thank you.
Morning, everybody. Morning. Buongiorno. My name is Flavia Baccani, and I'm here because I work in the administration for the non-formal education unit. In this non-formal education unit, we started to improve and to increase service learning in Sapienza. That is a big revolution because till 2 or 3 years ago, we knew only Micangeli projects and some other few projects. So we are trying to spread service learning in other careers, in other curricula, and we are very happy to see that many professors are starting to apply service learning in their courses. So we are spread service learning with some events. Last year, we present the first edition of Service Learning Awards, where we had a very nice festival where each professor that wanted to participate had a nice poster, nice witness about their work, and Micangeli won. Of course. And then some months later, we had an important national forum about service learning promoted by UNISL. That is an important national network about service learning. And now we are here to promote service learning with you and in an international context. So I'm here to tell you that we are very happy to spread service learning and to work with that because our dream is that every course in Sapienza can apply service learning and can propose to students to work actively in the community. So we are trying to work about that. I'm from the administration side, so I'm not a professor, but my aim is to give the right instrument and the right information to all professors that want to practice service learning. So your contributions are very precious for me. And so if you have any help, any contribution to give me, I'm ready to talk to you and to share with you your knowledge. Thank you.
Okay, now is the moment we were all waiting for. Yes. No, you don't want to do pulling. Can I hear? Yeah. Perfect. That's the right spirit. So let's go. And we have the first question here. So how should service learning be positioned within curricula? Perfect after Flavia's speech. You see, it seems like we planned it. We didn't. Yes, we planned it. But yeah, that's the first question. I think it's important. Now it's about do you think it has to be inside the curricula? So you need credit, obligatory credit to do service learning in engineering, but in all the faculty? Yes, no, and yeah, and it has to be obligatory. It has to be like something elective course that you can select, because maybe you say, yeah, it's important, but it's not something obligatory. You can do it after the degree. So what do you think? And for our speaker, who wants to comment on this? Meanwhile, they vote. Susan, please.
Be happy to. I've been a teacher for a long time at the university level and working to incorporate things like problem-based learning, student-centered learning, all of the new ideas that come along. And so I've been trying to think about this service learning as one of those things that it helps students learn in a way that is long-lasting and deep. We all want deep learning, practical. And so service learning, if it must involve going to Kenya or something, that's not going to be practical. So service learning in that you're actually doing something that needs done in the world, even if it's in your own village, I think I would agree that integrated, that would be the thing. And then what, as a capstone or an extracurricular to actually have a well planned out and organized exercise, which might only happen with Andrea. I don't know. That takes a special skill and energy.
Anyone else?
I may. We have in Italy, within the curricular schemes we have given by the ministry, we have something similar to service learning, which is tirocinio. Tirocinio should give the opportunity to students to interact with the world of jobs in general. So they are introduced for a while. Sometimes it is 150 hours, sometimes it is 200 hours for 2-3 months at the end of their course within a certain context, which can be an enterprise, an agency, an NGO, or anything like that. Like this, they enter into deep. But sometimes managing this kind of tirocini, it's a kind of a problem for universities, because we have too many students in some courses, like 200 students, 300 students, and we don't have enough chances to intervene in this kind of field. So at the very end, they try their best, but finally they give their service learning within the university, giving help to teachers or to professors or to researchers. So this program at the very beginning could have been, very good, a very good one. But still, after some years, we face a lot of problems in really applying it. So my personal opinion concerning service learning is it is very useful. It should be within at least some of the disciplines offered during the curriculum. Though I don't agree with my colleague, people must know the rest of the world. If they don't know the rest of the world and they remain within their own area, within their own community, they would never enter in contact with differences in the world. They would never interact with cultural diversity, diversity of societies. We can also consider that part of the world is with us. I mean, if you see this town, you know how many people from all around the world are here. We have a lot of programs dealing with refugees, with asylum seekers, with foreigners living in Italy permanently and entering our world like students at university or any other place to work. So sometimes we can consider the world which is around us instead of going too far to look for it.
I have just a couple of comments. Basically, I agree with those who answered, the vast majority that answered that service learning should be integrated in selected core courses. I cannot, just bringing my medical perspective, I cannot just believe that a medical doctor, a people, a professional dealing with people and suffering people should have nothing but a very strong personal and human side. So to make this a human hypertrophy, dealing with the diversity, dealing with the challenging situation, making your soft skill hypertrophic and trained is something that should never be missing in academic training. So let's do everything possible to make this real. And I think that making some selected course with some training focusing on service learning would be pivotal. My second comment is about the sustainability of service learning in foreign countries. I agree, this is a point, because it takes a lot to bring a student in such a faraway place and use this event to train. But I would also to remark that service learning is made up of two words. That is service, of course, that we have to provide and to have to become able to do properly, but also learning. That means that people should learn and become better and grow professionally and personally through the service. So this is a balance, a very, very complicated balance that should be implemented, trained, and detected. So which importance is a pivotal. So just these two feed a bit the discussion and provide more room for your comments. Thank you.
Please, Dorothy.
Yes, thank you very much. From our context, I think actually it should be a required curriculum component. It may translate either through the capstone or what we call our final year projects or in selected courses. And this is why, for Uganda in particular, 70% of our population is 30 years and below. So we have very, very, very many young people. Secondly, our unemployment rates are really high. And if we focus just on engineering, our state of industrialization cannot uptake, and public service, if I put that there, cannot uptake everybody. So by encouraging our students to get out into the community, it is also helping them see opportunity for them to create, if I may call the word, create jobs for themselves out in these communities. Because like I said earlier, you all come to our villages. We go to them as a matter of course. Yeah. So, and of course, we still have the same problem like everywhere. Okay, so it's not really a problem. Increasingly, we have students who've been raised in Kampala, lived in Kampala all their lives. So to them, actually telling them to go to the villages, probably like telling someone from Italy to, it's the same kind of experience. But I think that is what we need to have. So that we can also play a big part in terms of really our own development. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's an important topic, and we have some times since the catering already is waiting for us late. Do anyone have a small question on this? Or we go to the next polling? It's still on service learning, eh? Yeah, please. Wait. Like dancing.
Hey, I'm TK from North Carolina State University. The first thing I was thinking when I heard this question is kind of funding, especially, is a big thing. I know y'all kind of answered the question. The topic that came up is doing it within your own community or going abroad and doing that. And for the answer where somebody said that it would be more impactful to go abroad, go somewhere and get the intercultural like context. What would the I guess how would that be funded? Would that be student to student? Would that be by the university? Like that just doesn't seem practical, or how would that become practical? Is that my question?
Thank you.
Well, I actually think if we look around a given country, I think you mentioned it, there are refugee communities. In the United States, there are other countries in there, basically. You don't have to go that far away. And there are things that need radical rethinking and radical attention. And they're not things that government is going to be able to figure out or a company is going to think there's a profit in. And so that work of bringing engineering capability and the service learning mojo of we're just students doing what somebody needs doing could actually be a tipping point for how communities see themselves, how they maybe feel disenfranchised. I don't know. There might be some energy there that, you know, maybe if there is funding, you would go farther, but there's so much opportunity nearby to do the service learning, which is the point.
And on Monday, when we go to Rieti, you will see how we are working just in the outskirts of Rome and in the region of around Rome. This is also the meeting that we will do on Monday morning. Yes, thank you very, very much.
If I may, within the European Union, we have a huge program, which is Erasmus Plus. Erasmus Plus, especially for Key Action 2 and Key Action 3, deals with capacity building in other continents, helping the universities abroad to build up this kind of programs together. So we have, in a way, a channel for funding. It is just an opportunity that many universities picked, like ours, for example. I think we have hundreds of these kind of agreements all around the world. So it's not easy, it's not difficult for us to introduce our students to this kind of service learning abroad.
Okay. Yeah.
To follow up on the factor of Erasmus, because it's actually a big opportunity for us. And as Makerere University, we do have a number of agreements, and we have hosted, and also our students and staff have traveled because of that. I think at the moment we have people in Turkey, we have people in the Netherlands, yeah, under Erasmus, yeah.
Okay, so it's something even international. No? It's called Erasmus Mundus. I think it's even with America, some university. Oh, everything is Erasmus Plus together. Okay, so my bad. But it's still international over Europe. Yeah, abroad Europe. Okay, that's something you should check. Yeah, I think. So like I have a surprise, let's say for you. I don't know if my phone can handle it, but I see always like 50 people voting. I hope like that. Let's see. If who don't have internet, try it out. If my phone can handle it, my Wi-Fi, please, not the one that use the Durom, not everyone, and not for WhatsApp. Don't start all your things, else the other can vote. So like, please, just to vote and see if it should handle it at least 20 people. So we should have some more voting. Tell me, okay? It's easy, no? GCSP 2026. So the second question is, to what extent is service learning integrated into study programs at your institution? So before was How do you think to be integrated? And now what is the situation right now? How much service learning did you do? It was obligatory, not? And the speakers, meanwhile, they vote. So someone can say anything else. You see already that offered through voluntary extracurricular activities is going up and available as elective course already.
Yeah, I think I can kind of chime in on this one. I mean, at one university, I can only talk from the undergraduate medical curriculum as we start to develop some of our kind of postgraduate. But actually, we have service learning integrated through every year of our training. So, in fact, we have a community-based module that our students will do. And I think probably talking about this from a low-income country and echoing Dr. Coelho's thoughts here, in fact, it has to be integrated into our programs, just because we don't have the resources to be able to provide. We don't have the companies or the hospitals or the clinics, and of course I talk about this from a medical perspective, to be able to provide the care that community needs. And I think therefore, as an institution, and Pwani, who I represent, we have very much integrated that community service to be able to extend what our individual learners are doing, but also be able to offer that back to the system. And then thinking a little bit broader on emergency medicine programs, there's always been a balance between your actual learning and your academic learning, and the distinction of service, and how can you integrate both of those things. And I think it is vital that actually, certainly from a international standpoint, that we have to be putting ourselves out there to make sure that we lead the way in the ability to provide solutions for the community that are marred in data and academic brilliance, and then fostering, as we've said in the panel, fostering those ideas that can then be taken forward and then create your own jobs. I have to say, I completely understand that. If you think that I can train or we can train one of our undergraduate doctors that goes back to their village, they now provide a service for that village. Everyone will come and talk to that person for free, and actually now we are starting to make the whole village healthier. So certainly from a low income perspective, service has to be integrated and fully embedded into our curriculums. And I can talk about this from what we did in the UK. In fact, we had in Oxford lots of community projects that were voluntary based, but actually they were very popular because it allows you to transition from academia to your real life. We spend 3 years, 4 years, 5 years maybe doing academia, and then 30 years is then spent doing your career or whatever service you are going to then give. So I also think that it helps that transition for our junior learners, and hence why I think it should be fully embedded into curriculums, certainly in that low-income environment. Thank you.
I'm so glad that we have a medical person here, because I think every one of us assumes that they learn how to care for people. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, does it make any sense that engineers don't?
I would say that if we want just to distinguish from AI, there is no other way to do. I don't know. We are just realize that technical issues are not the only aspect of the problem. There would be always a human side that should be never forgot. And it seems quite, normal to say that. But if you think exactly what is going on, is that everything it seems to be dehumanized somehow, and we should try to preserve our human side in our technical professional aspects, and that's the difference between serving AI or being served by AI. That's my point.
if I can come in here, we have been privileged through the Tomsit Center to set up a living lab in one of the villages in Uganda, and that way you can say that there is always service learning. You know, whether we take the students there or the people who work at the living lab are just doing their normal work, there's always learning. The problem, Mark, I think TK there alluded to is the cost. We've built maybe an 18 kilowatt peak PV plant, probably I mean, the project itself has cost us maybe upwards of $200,000. I mean, that's a lot of money I mean, if I gave you the same amount to put something on your roof, probably you would do 10 times maybe what we've put. But that is because it takes a lot of money to take the students there, to set up the systems in the village. When you go to such a place, you're also thinking about accommodation and transport and things like that. So it's quite it takes quite a lot. The beauty though is the impact that it creates. So every year we do this thing where we bring a bunch of primary school students and take them through some sort of energy education. And one of the things I love to do is to take them through, let me say, the evolution of lighting our homes, or the evolution of cooking. You know, so you can move from fire to the LEDs, or for the lighting, and for cooking, you can still move, let me say, from firewood to induction heaters and stuff like that. And one of the things that I find that changes the students' lives, maybe it's an overstatement, is the cost of buying, let me say, an electric pressure cooker is about €100. The cost of buying a normal firewood charcoal stove, the local charcoal stove, is about €2. So usually when I tell the student that which one would you take to save money, of course everybody chooses the local stove. The problem is that it costs you about €1 to run it every day. You know, the normal charcoal stove, but it costs you about maybe 10 euro cents to run the electric pressure cooker. So at the end of the year, you spend way much more money on the local stove than you do on the electric pressure cooker. And the students work this self out, you know, like grade 6 or grade 7 equivalent. They work the math out to see the saving, and then you see their mouths opening. You know, when they realize that you get to save a lot more money by using what is seemingly an expensive solution at purchase. So for me, okay, it costs a lot of money, but it's also really life transforming. But I do take the university students there who it is their first time also to learn that. Like they get to learn it. And you can see themselves also puzzled in the same way as grade 6 and grade 7s. So, I mean, I agree here. At the moment, it is voluntary, but I also agree with Professor Okello here that it should be integrated, although, of course, it comes with a lot of financial investment.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to the next polling. And the question is, what is the main barrier to implementing service learning at scale? If anyone need internet, you know the deal. Like the password is the same of the Wi-Fi name. Yeah, it seems it's very mixed, the answers, yes. It's not very defined. Anyone want to start a comment on this?
I'm happy to comment on this actually to start. So I'll talk a little bit about communities, actually, because I think some of our biggest barriers is that of engaging communities in service learning. Because if you're trying to think that you have someone that is really poor, that actually going to a university is completely out of the realm of their possibility. In fact, having someone come there and potentially tell them, or not necessarily tell them what to do, but try and engage with them, comes at this from two very different perspectives. So in fact, the biggest part of our challenge is engaging with communities that have such a barrier between the availability of education and learning, between then going to deliver the service that we are there for. So from my perspective, I think it's a big thing in terms of the integration with communities that definitely, certainly in the low income environment, that we're looking for these kind of low cost solutions or even high cost solutions. But actually, when you're trying to struggle to get food into your child's mouth, or you're trying to put money together to send your child to school, having some projects come and try and do this fantastic project isn't necessarily your main priority. In fact, your main priority is to make sure that your kids are alive and your kids are educated. And so actually, I think some of the biggest barriers that we have are actually at community engagement level, not necessarily at faculty engagement level. Thank you.
I'm going to put out there a strange thought that the kind of service learning you're mostly talking about, going to communities, doing good things, that's a peripheral thing, really. That's in the sustainability camp. That's in the people who want to do good camp. Imagine if the engineering professions required that you learn how to serve humanity, society, that thing which it's in all of our ethics codes, but what if they actually required it? Then the institutional support would shift. Imagine if the industries, all of them, not just the renewable industries, but all industries, this is what engineers have to be able to do. Then I think you would see that the reason that it's across the board is because we don't have that gravity of that it's recognized. So maybe the next step is to actually go into the professions and explain succinctly what service learning is and the really diverse way that it could be done, but that it's about the things that industry is recognizing they need. So more diagnosing the problem than
Okay, Dorothy, yes, and then we'll pick a question from the audience.
So, thank you. I was still mulling over what you very well put together. Yeah, I think for us, actually, from an experience point of view, I'd have to build on what Francis just said in terms of the funding for us to get this done. And really more, as you put it there, the funding stability, because you go project by project, and it really ties into two things. One, the funding stability, and then the community being there continuously and working with, because I think it came out here, we don't go to, take solutions there. We go to co-create solutions. And it's a requirement on the side of the faculty that we do three things. We teach, we research, we do community engagement. So that part of the faculty part is sorted, and the institutional support. But I think for us, the two, the community continuity, so you don't just step in, step out. You work with this village, you know, on a continuous basis, but that then brings in the issue of the stability for funding. For us, as it is now, 2 weeks ago, I was in one of these engagements in the community, and I was really pushing back. I'm like, okay, we need to do A, B, C, D. Okay, from the university, you are expecting, A and B. What is the C and D that the community is going to provide, whether it is labor or some other thing, so that it becomes more sustainable for us to actually keep doing, even within the constraints that we have of resources. Thank you.
Okay, let's have like one quick question, because we have like 3 minutes if we don't want to be too late. Yeah, please. Where is the microphone? Professor, run away with the microphone. Eccolo, here I am. Yeah, there was a question here. Raise your hand again. Okay.
Introduce yourself.
Oh yeah, there are a question down there.
Hello.
Sorry. Yeah, one answer, please. Then we have another question down there, and if we take one answer, but we try to close then.
My name is Giancarlo Sedano. I'm studying biomedical engineering at the University of Southern California. I wanted to ask you guys about just the continuity. I feel like another issue about this is continuity from the student's perspective. Sometimes we have good ideas about service learning, and a lot of times the university gives us like the freedom to choose what we want to do, and oftentimes we'll come up with our own ideas. But the problem with that is after we are done, or our program is only a couple years, or maybe only 1 year, stuff doesn't continue to get done, or like other students will come up with their own ideas. And I feel like a lot of the problem from a student perspective is that like stuff just, as soon as it gets running, like everything gets running off the ground, it just stops because the student graduates or other people come with new ideas. So I wanted to ask what you guys recommend for that, or if your institutions or programs have like set programs and areas they already work in, and how we can continue that like universities of our own.
Where is that, Andrea? That's what you need. You need this. The university I was at before I went to Scotland is University of Canterbury in New Zealand. And I think a 25, 30 year, every year, micro hydro engineering for a particular stream in Nepal. And then the students over the summer would go there, install it, teach people how to work it and how to hook up the little microgrid and how to make it. And why that's, what you need for that one to work. And I think the objective was that it would stop at some point because Nepal wouldn't need University of Canterbury micro hydro engineering anymore. They would already have it. But that knowing that you're going to do that every year, there's going to be a group of students who form a team, learn how to engineer a micro hydro system, get to go to Nepal. So always had a great draw. And that all happened because of the professor who did it. So the professor who does it is what you need. So I don't know how you get that, but.
Yeah. If you want to participate, be fast, please. Just a phrase or a couple of phrases.
Yeah, I find two things.
Then because you can discuss it with the people later on, you find all the speakers.
When she said that they were installing microgrids in Nepal, I remembered as an undergrad student, I worked a lot on microhydros, and I used to play around with these electric load controllers and these small turbo machines, which were actually coming from Nepal. So I hope it's not from this program that the capacity was built, and then later on I benefited from it. But just coming to your question, I find two things that maybe can create sustainability. When a skill set is being transferred to the community, they remain with that skill set, whether the community in totality or just the people who were part of that program, even when they move away from the community. The next thing is if there is some sort of an entrepreneurial idea transferred. If people can make money out of anything you offer, then it will be sustainable. And so you'll see that most of our programs in Africa are driven mainly by pragmatic issues rather than ideal, like ideas or things that we esteem of value. If people can earn money out of something, you are guaranteed that that might outlive your intervention.
Yes, please.
If I may, very quick. I just wish to share our experience in Bergamo according to one of the points here, which is community continuity. A lot of applied research given as a proposal to students for their program, like PhD program, is completely oriented toward their own communities. so that they can do their research on the territory. They know better. They enter in contact with local authorities, with groups, different social groups, and finally at the very end of this process of going through their PhD program, they are aware, they are well known on their territories, and they have a chance to go on and to give continuity to community in the way they can share their knowledge.
Perfect. We had another small question down there. He's raising the hand. Yeah, it's you, Anders. Yeah.
Come on, Andres. Andres from Comillas.
But the coffee break is coming, so you can like stress the speaker afterwards.
Yeah, well, very quickly. But, I've been thinking about this issue for over a century, since I was a student in the 20th century. And, I think there is something missing in that slide, which is student engagement. If you get the students to engage, and that is, I think, the tremendous value of the Grand Challenges scholars, both faculty and students. You get leaders, you get change makers, you get people in the university that talks about these things and that makes people think about these things. You have a demand. You can go to your principal and tell him, this is important. If the students are in another world, they will never participate, or you will have a strong resistance. Whether if the students are engaged, really things could flow. In the 90s, when I was at the university, there was this very strong social movement of students. We were asking for the 0.7 of the percentage of our gross development product to be put into development cooperation. Never happened. But there was a lot of associations doing that. Not today. Today is more difficult, at least in Spain. But then I went on a scholarship program to Mexico and Guatemala, and I saw universities there which they all had compulsory service learning in the 19s, 30 years ago, and not overseas programs with their own communities over there. And for me, it was a great frustration seeing that didn't happen at my university. Now, and actually since 2010s, it's compulsory. It all has a leadership from above, and it's integrated transversally in all the disciplines. And every teacher of every subject is asked to think, how would you make your students think how to apply their knowledge to some problem of the nearby community? I don't know, energy poverty or energy access. I work in energy, sorry. Those are my examples. I can put others. So really, we need to get the students engaged. Today, at least in Spain, we're thinking about other things. We are moving, the individualism is thriving. It's very difficult to get the students engaged. Whereas at the same time, and I don't know if that happens also in your countries, social problems are increasing. Poverty is thriving. We have a lot of problems with plenty of things just around the house. We don't need to go abroad to look for them, though we can as well, and we should. So really, we need to get the students on board, and that I could take advantage of thanking the Grand Scholars Program for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Andres. Thank you very, very much.
Okay.
Thank you. May I comment there?
Yeah.
So I thank you for this comment. I totally agree with that. I believe that changes are better if they are bottom-up driven. The teacher, the mentor should be only able to observe, to look for, adjustment, little adjustment, and to facilitate trainees or a young student attitude. That's all we have to do. So therefore, I encourage all of you to keep together, to make your movement of values and your amount of values to grow, and to act as a wall to provide a bottom-up solution to problems.
Mine is just a very short comment, actually, in that whenever we're designing these projects, I think it's really important to understand what success looks like. And I think often what we do is we say, look, actually my area of interest is this. I want to go and do X, Y, Z, you know, for you guys, hydrothermal stuff. You know, for us, it's kind of improving community care. But I think really probably one of the shortest things is, what does success look like in that project? Is it that actually it's community engagement? So I think, I won't spend very long, but I think when we're making these projects is, what does success look like? What does that mean in a practical point of view? Not that I'm going there just to teach or I'm going there to introduce a product, but actually, what does success look like? Is it that actually the community can now do it for itself? Is it that actually now I'm trying to get data to drive other things? But I think it's really important that any of these projects, that inherently one of the biggest questions is, what does success look like?
Okay, perfect. So we have just, like, I'm sharing something now, a little video, about 30 seconds. The professor wanted to share with you, but we are kind of late. I'm just saying one thing, that I have this slide prepared here, because someone said, like, it's not clear the timing. Now, like, it's clear. Like, you have 30 minutes. It's not 30 minutes break. You have like 15. Please, we have more time at lunch and in working groups. And it's important that we do the last workshop, because after this last workshop, at the end, no, please, don't stand up. After this, you're gonna be divided in group, and then you have to do a presentation on the workshop. So if you are, I'm starting at this time, my maximum 1 minute more, 2 minutes more. And if you're not there, maybe you're not following the workshop. So please do now a fast break, and we will have 2 hours after the last workshop for you to connect, for you to see the poster and do this, all these things. So please now be fast, and we have more time now. Just fast coffee. Yes.
One moment.
And we have
Daniele,
this video.
one moment. During the coffee break, we have the prayer break with our Islam students.
Yeah, go. I'll just
with our Islam students. They will wait for you in the frescos room, just near the coffee break. On the other side, you will have a prayer break or just a time break with our Islam friends, because we are trying to have all the cultures and religions with us. And this is a very, very short video, just telling about what Barbara Turchetta was saying before. Our works in Rwanda and in Uganda. Here you can see the famous OSEC, the on-site electrochlorination, the technology that makes directly from salt water chlorine. And here, yes, we have someone who's now is managing big project in Italy. This is the photovoltaic mini grid. The mini grid realized with our work together with the Friends of Green that yesterday you met. This is the working in the village, just to take the example of the materials that we need. Here we are in a Numanzi refugee settlement, where a solar pump was broken, and we had a number of big line of yellow tank to take the water. And we were so happy when they called us back, just to say that the queue was really reduced, because the pump was working 3 times more. And as said, the training is the most important part. The training, women with women, our students, girls working with the women there, sharing the problems and the solution and the training. So the video now is too long. We close it. Makerere! Together in Makerere University together.
Okay, Professor.
Also with the gasification system, and a number of good things where we had been working together, and also together with our Professor Grego Stefano, that was from 2005. I came to Makerere with him. We will listen him later on. Okay, so Let's go for the coffee break and prayer break, and let's see again.
No, thanks all the speakers here.
Yes.
A
At
round of
12,
applause, and we
12
go
for
back
15.
in 15 minutes.
No.
Yeah,
When it will start?
15 minutes. C'è scritto.
10 for 10.
Let's make 50.
10:55 we will start.
Yeah.
Or 11. Yeah. 10:50. Okay. Yeah, we will work in room 2. Room 2. In room 2, we will have the new university coming in the network. In room 2, okay? We will have
Islam, Muslims too.
nel mio ufficio, sicuramente. Arriviamo.
Naam, Binachu.
Sasa nilikuja pia hapo chini umechai.
Ah, ushaondoka?
Bado.
Hiyo chai ipo?
Kwa nini?
Kama uji basi, basi. Sawa. Hiyo chai si huku chini ipo au? Nita nani tu. Ngoja nikasali kabisa alafu ngirudi nitaendelea kwa. Ndo nataka nimtafute nimeona miss call, simu niliacha chini ilikuwa ina charge. Ah.
Hello. Welcome back. We were just going to start. We're going to go start pretty soon. So please find your seat. And I'm looking for the guest speakers or the panelists to come over and sit in the front, please.
Do you hear where we said?
No, it's Hello again. We're waiting for some of the panelists to arrive, so please bear with us.